Hi students, today we are moving on to the next topic, that is whiskey and the different types of whiskies. Whiskey which is made out of ingredients such as wheat, barley, corn and rye. The fermented mash which is being distilled will be getting the distillate that is called a spirit that should be aged in a oak wood barrel. The liquid has the same color of water. During the time of aging process, it takes minimum 2 to 3 years of time. By the time the spirits absorb the color of the oak wood barrel, the amber color it gets, and also the spirit has different flavor. Whiskey has a distinct flavor from one country to another country due to several reasons. First one is local characteristics of that particular grain, then formula what they use, and also the techniques what they adopt to make the whiskey. The major producing countries of whiskey are, first one is Scotland, second is Ireland, then USA and Canada. Whiskey has another name that is called water of life. Before the First World War, in Scotland there was a temperance movement. It was a movement against consuming alcohol, and due to that all the distilleries is being closed in Scotland, and they start importing whiskey from USA, and it was available only in restaurants and in the hotels with food. So it was so precious, and from that the name comes water of life. If you just see this bottle, the spelling is WHISKY whiskey. And if you look at this bottle, the spelling is WHISKEY whiskey. WHISKY whiskies are from UK. Even Indian whiskies spells WHISKY, and Canadian and US whiskies spells WHISKEY whiskies. That's the only difference. Then let's see different types of whiskies. There are many types of whiskies, but we are going to learn only very few types. First one is single malt whiskey. Single malt means only one particular grain is being used to make that whiskey. That is called a single malt. Only one grain is being used. Second one is malt whiskey. Malt whiskey means there are more than one grain is being used to make that whiskey. That is called malt whiskey. The third one is Scotch whiskey. Scotch whiskey made out of two types of whiskies. One is grain whiskey and one is malt whiskey that is being mixed. The malt whiskey which is made out of barley, that gives a body and character to that whiskey. And the grain whiskey, except barley, all other types of grain can be used, and from that the whiskey is being made. That is mixed with this particular whiskey, and that gives a lightness to the whiskey. So you have to keep one thing in your mind: Scotch whiskey is a blend of two whiskies, Scotch malt whiskey and Scotch grain whiskey. Next one is a Bourbon whiskey that comes from North America, which is founded by Reverend Elijah Craig in 1789. It is a mix of corn, rye and barley. Corn is 60%, rye is 28%, and barley is 12%. That's the proportion to make bourbon whiskey. Next one is Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey which has wheat and rye, that is almost equal proportion. With that you have to have 20% of oats in it, and that is being distilled in there is two types of distillation, pot still method and patent still method, but it is distilled in pot still for 3 times. Next one is a Canadian whiskey, which is made out of maize, rye, barley and wheat, which has higher in body and a delicate flavor than bourbon whiskey. These are the types of whiskey. Hope that you understood. See you next class with another topic.